Alright guys, Vinnie here. So many of you know I've been on a journey the past year with growing my hair. So for those that know and tease me all the time, oh, you're losing your hair, I went and did something about it. A year ago, I came to Elite Hair Clinic and I had a transplant done, but a very minor procedure because I was rather skeptical about how things would go. Is it gonna work? It's a big investment. Is it gonna work for me? A year has passed and I'm absolutely happy with the results. I'm ecstatic, so to speak, so much so that I wanted to bring my hairline a little bit more forward, capture my youth and, get the opportunities that come to me being the good looking male that I am. But today I'm here because I'm going in for my second procedure. So I wanted to actually take many of you on this journey with me because many of you have reached out and said, Vin, has it worked? Show me the results. I'm really keen. I'm suffering hair loss. Hair loss is a thing that absolutely sucks for men. I know that it impacts your confidence. I know that it can make you feel uneasy about certain things, and especially being a performer, I know that the impact that can have on, what you do in the real world. Confidence is key. So I'm here today at Elite Hair Clinic to get me to where I want to be. So I wanted to bring you on this journey. I'm going to introduce you guys to Dr. Will. This is the doctor that's going to be taking me through my procedure.
Hi, Vinnie. How are you doing?
Good, man. How are you? Thank you for
Very
having
well.
me. Thank you. Do me a favor. Please tell everyone what is the procedure we're going to be doing today.
So, look, pretty simple procedure. What we're going to be doing today is follicular unit extraction, FUE. Okay, there's a few ways of doing hair transplant these days. It's one of the easiest, safest ways. One of the ways that you get the best outcome. Okay, it's what you had last time. So we take the individual follicle and then we'll put it in the hairline. Okay. For you, I know you've had your previous procedure, we did a little one, you're kind of testing the waters. Now we're going to do a bit more today. We're going to bring the hairline down a little bit, keep it nice and natural, and really pack in those grafts so it's going to look really nice, okay? You've been through the process before. We're going to take you on the journey today and explain as we're doing everything, and Vinnie will take you on the journey with you.
All right, guys. That's it. Stay tuned with us. I'm going to take you through every little aspect here, what we're doing, how I'm feeling. So for those that are really interested in this, and if you've asked me a ton of questions over the past year, this is the man that's going to give you the answers. So stay tuned and we'll be in touch.
All right, great.
Okay guys, so the first thing we got to do before we get today, it actually starts the night before. So you have to get a good night's sleep, number one. Before that, you've got to really wash your hair. You've got to get your hair nice and clean, ready for the doctor today. So we've done all that. I woke up really early this morning at about 5:30 and now I'm here. You've met Dr. Will, but I've got to fill out some forms, which is, basic protocol, basic procedure, just letting them know some of the things about my health background and whatnot. And, one thing I do want to touch on is coming here, I have been a little bit anxious, a little bit nervous. I know I've done this procedure before, but any type of procedure can get anyone a little bit, startled. But the one thing I do want to say and give mad kudos to is the team here. The team have been really reassuring, really helpful. They put your mind at ease. So rest assured, when you come here, you are in good hands.
Okay, I'm here with Nurse Gabby. She's going to be administering me the drugs I need to officially start the procedure. So Nurse Gabby, can you please tell me what is it you're giving me?
Of course. So we've got a prophylactic dose of antibiotics, kind of like before people have it before surgery. It's just a prophylactic dose before the treatment. And then we've got Panadol, which is a painkiller, prednisolone, which is for any swelling, and diazepam, which basically makes you feel like you've had a few gin and tonics.
Okay, I'm not a drinker, but hey, it could be a good experience. All right, we'll get on that. Stay tuned, guys. Thank you.
That's all right. See you soon.
Oh my god, it's not all over.
All right, guys, so we've taken our meds and now we're getting into the actual procedure. So they've got to actually cut my hair. So as Dr. Will was explaining before, they're going to be taking grafts from the back of my head. So they're going to shave me down to a 1 or a 0?
Zero.
A 0. So we're going to get that all removed. We're going to cut the sides of my heads as well, just so I don't look like a complete muppet when I leave here. But that's all part of the process. And then we're going to move straight into the procedure. Okay, you can see I've had my haircut all fresh. Probably the same haircut I had when I was like 15 or 16. The medication is starting to kick in and I'm starting to feel a little bit woozy, which it's a little bit of a different feeling for me. For those that know me, know I'm totally straight edge, no drugs, no this, no that. But this is going to be a wild procedure. So now we're going to jump on the table. The doctors are going to get to work and I'm going to keep you guys updated with how we go from here. Okay guys, so step one's done where they've just taken all the grafts out of the back of my head. Best part of it was I was asleep for most of it, so you don't feel a thing. And then I woke up and I'm like, oh, how long have I been out? He's like, oh, 40 minutes. And I'm like, oh great, that's really, really cool. So I don't feel anything. The best part of it is the staff are constantly asking me how I'm feeling, checking my blood pressure, checking how I'm basically going through this process to make sure I'm okay to keep continuing. That's the one thing I'm really, really comfortable with, that puts my mind at ease, because I know that I'm being looked after from all angles here. So it's really good. Now we'll take a break for a minute, and then we're going to move on to the next phase of when they start to embed everything. But the doctor will talk you through that a bit more, which I'll get him on to speak about. But so far so good. The journey is going great.
It looks pretty good. It's a good basis. It's going to thicken out that whole area a little bit.
Okay, so this is probably my favorite part of this process, is we're going through where my new hairline is going to be. So the doctor's just gone through how far we can go down, because obviously you can't just put it wherever you want. It's got to work out with, the contours of your head and where your forehead and where your frown lines are. So we've been able to adjust where we're going to go moving forward. And as you can see, that's why I've got this line across my head. So that's where we're going to start doing the implant, so to speak. And this is where it starts for the next step for in this phase, which is implementation. I think that's what we're calling it. Is that correct? Implementation? Yeah. So we're going to go on for that part now. So on to the next stage.
So what we do is for the hairline, what we do is we like to create a little bit of irregularity. So we do some obvious irregularity with a regular line, okay? And what we do is you do macro, micro irregularity. So when we're actually doing the hairline, we create this micro irregularity, which means it's natural, using one head grafts at the front, and then slowly thickening them out. That gives you that thinning and then thickening of the hair, which kind of creates that natural looking hairline, okay?
Cool.
All right, so I'll just draw it so you can have a look. There as well.
Being the pro that I am, watching tape is always great. Watching where you went wrong and where you can do better is even smarter. So right now I'm watching back a match from back in July at EWA. Took on Albie, so I'm just going to be watching this for the next couple minutes or next half an hour or so. I'm just going to go through some matches, learn a few things, entertain myself, because hey, who better to watch than yourself, right? Fun times. It's always about being the bad guy.
So I've got a bit of downtime now between the next part of my procedure, and I'm going to take the time to answer some of the questions that have been asked of me over the past year since I've been on this hair transplant journey. So question one, it's been all about confidence, right? A lot of people have been asking me about, I have a confidence issue. Do you think this is going to change things for me? And 100% the answer is yes. Yes, it will change things for you. See, with me, as I said earlier, I've been going through hair loss for quite a few years. And the one thing I absolutely hated was you spend a lot of time in front of the mirror. You're trying to fix your hair, you're trying to look the part, and then you don't necessarily get it right that day. And then you go out and you feel a little bit not yourself, not the best version of you. And I was always told as I was growing up, if you look good, you feel good. And if you feel good, you perform well. So the best part of this is, yes, this is going to absolutely improve your confidence. Probably going to change a little bit of your life. You're probably going to get a little bit more time back, less time in front of the mirror, more time out there enjoying life and being the best version of you. So being Vinnie Vane, a lot of women follow me, and I've been asked by quite a few women, is this something women can do? So I understand a lot of women have a lot of baldness issues in some regards, a lot of thinning hair. This is absolutely a viable option for you also. Elite Hair Clinic do women's work here. Definitely get in touch with them. Speak to Dr. Will. They've already done work with a lot of amazing women and they've achieved great results. So definitely hit that one up. Okay. So for my colleagues in wrestling, you've all asked me, how long are you out for? What can I go back to wrestling next week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks? With me personally, I took 2 months off the last time. I'm going to be taking another 2-month break again between matches. So I just worked on the weekend. I worked for IWA. I've got bookings lined up for February. So I'm going to get back in the ring for competitive action probably in early February. But with that said, that doesn't mean you go sit on the couch and become a slob for 2 months. After about 2 weeks, I believe, you can start doing some moderate exercises. You can start, getting back in the gym, lifting those weights, getting those runs in. You just got to be careful with contact to the head. So I would advise, if you're doing any type of, not just for the wrestlers, anyone that's doing competitive sports, whether it be rugby, boxing, mixed martial arts, You got to be really careful with your head. You don't want to take too many hits to the head. You don't want to have anyone grabbing your hair in that time, but definitely give yourself a bit of a break. Take the time to settle down, rest your body, heal your mind, and come back stronger than ever. Another question I was asked, Vinny, why didn't you go to Turkey? So apparently in Turkey, there are a lot of people are flying abroad over to Europe to do these types of procedures. Now for me, honestly, a few reasons. Number one, I like the Australian economy. I want to help boost jobs and help businesses here. So that's number one. I know that might sound cliche, but that's just my personal belief. Number two being, I don't want to go abroad because I haven't heard a ton of horror stories, but I have heard some. The beautiful thing with here is once the procedure is done, I know that the next day, the day after, every single day for the next year to 18 months, if I have a question or an issue, I can call Elite Hair Clinic. They're going to answer me. They're going to give me the answers I'm looking for and put my mind at ease. I feel that if you go abroad, they simply want to get you done, get you in and out, send you packing, and then trying to get in touch with them, given that time zone barrier, could be rather difficult. This is it's not a serious procedure, but it is a procedure nonetheless. And if you want answers, you should be able to get those answers straight away. You want to be able to have the help at your disposal as you need. That is why I am an advocate for doing these things here in your hometown. I'm located in Sydney. Elite Hair Clinic are here based in Sydney. I'm a big advocate for doing it here. I've heard all the stories of, it's so much cheaper over there. I'm a firm believer of you pay for what you get. So if you're gonna go cheaper, expect a cheaper result. If you're gonna pay a bit of a premium, expect a great result. I'm not saying that Elite Hair Clinic are super duper expensive. I found them reasonably priced, very affordable, willing to work for you. And don't forget, mention Vinnie Vane, they're gonna take care of you.
Okay, I'm here with Thelma, who is the co-founder of Elite Hair Clinic, and she's been on this journey with me since day one. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to give you guys the opportunity to hear from Thelma and talk about the next part of this procedure. So we've got some things here in front of us. So Thelma, tell me, what are you about to put me through? Tell me.
Well, you are in the third stage. So it's
Okay.
a three-step process. The harvesting, the recipient sites.
Which I didn't feel a damn thing through, which is great.
Yeah, thank God to the long-lasting
Yeah,
anesthetic.
yeah.
And now the third step and final step is planting the grafts. So what we've done here, because this is your second procedure, I'm adding more density, bringing the hairline even more forward, giving, reshaping and reframing your face. In this case, we usually have, you've got 4 haired grafts and a few 5 haired grafts. But
Okay, so what does that mean, 4 or 5 head grafts?
so we take a graft, we extract it, and a graft can have a single hair, or it can have up to 5 hairs in one graft. It really depends on how dense and how thick your hair is, or how fine it is. The finer it is, the more hairs per graft we can get. We use a very small hole punch, anywhere between 0.8 of a millimeter or 0.9 of a millimeter, sometimes 0.85. With you, I think it's 0.85 of a millimeter. You've got pretty fine hair. There's some 5-haired grafts in
That's a
here,
good
which
thing?
is really good.
Right.
Yeah, and the thing is that if that's the way we get them, that's the way we plant them. It's very random. So a lot of clinics, they'll separate the 2s, 3s, and 4s and plant them in a certain pattern. We use the 1-haired grafts to outline either, just the hairline, either 1 or 2 rows. We use them for beards and for eyebrows as well.
Okay.
But
say beards and eyebrows, sorry, yeah.
Yes.
That's a good point, yeah.
Any leftover ones, we put them in the mix. So we mix everything together because that's how we extract them.
So this is what you extracted out of the back of my head.
Absolutely. So
Yeah,
this
cool.
has 2s, 3s, 4s, and you've got a few 5s in there.
Great.
And they're all mixed up, and that way when we plant them and they end up growing, they all intertwine and grow together.
Yeah,
there's no 3s here, there's no 2s here,
And that
there's
helps
no
with
1s.
density.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
it just makes it fuller and it gets blended into your existing hair naturally.
Well, I'm looking forward to the next step.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was just with Thelma before and she was talking through the next phase. So we're in implanting now. This is the final phase of the procedure today. So I'm just chilling out now, listening to music while the legends behind me do their thing. We'll be done in about an hour or so, give or take, and then we're on to the next stage, which is recovery basically. I go home, I follow all the procedure tips, which I'm going to get into with you guys after this, so all the things I've got to do and follow from here on out, and then it's watch the seedlings grow, baby. 12 months from now, I'm going to have a full head of hair. I'm going to be extremely happy, and it's all thanks to these guys at Elite Hair Clinic. Well done.
I'm happy to advise that I am out of the procedure. It's done, it's dusted. It looks fantastic. I don't know if you can see, I think I have a cap on my head.
Yeah, we can show it.
A little bit, might be a bit too much, but you know, you can see where they've come down and they've increased the density, which is really good. So I'm gonna have a really full head of hair, which might be great. Well, not might be, it's gonna be amazing. But essentially now we're in post-op. Thelma's gonna go through the do's and don'ts, essentially.
Yes, so at this point, it's the post-operative care instructions. So basically, we give you a big bag full of everything that you need.
Yep.
First of all, we give you a travel pillow so that you can sleep on it probably for the next 5 days. 5 days is a good amount of time. Yep. It's fat enough so that it curls around your neck so that you don't move in your sleep and rub your grafts on it.
Plus, I have a big ego and a big head, so it doesn't hurt, you know, it's a big
exactly.
Yeah,
you gotta do it right.
Yeah.
So that's there for you. We give you a big pack here.
Yep.
So we give you some greenies. You can line the pillow with these, but you're not bleeding much, so you can always use them for like the sofa or the lounge to lean back.
Yeah, cool.
And here we've got a shower cap for you. We've got gauze.
Mm-hmm.
We give you a spray bottle. With the spray, you really, because it's nice and clean and it's not weepy, just spray it 3 times a day.
Easy.
And when you give it a spray, give it a nice spray, lean forward so that it doesn't fall onto your dressing at the back.
Yeah, and runs forward off, yeah.
Runs forward. I always find best in front of the bathroom mirror.
Perfect.
In front of your, bathroom basin. And you can either let it air dry, putting a towel over your neck, because a lot of guys don't want to touch it.
Yeah, I won't touch it.
Yeah.
I'm that guy. Yep.
Or you can grab one gauze, fold it into a couple of, folds when it's small, and then just pat dry gently like the technicians do.
Yep.
That's optional. You don't have to do it that way. You can let it air dry. And then we give you Panthenol. This stuff you can't get in Australia. I love this stuff.
Ooh,
Get it overseas.
Sneaky.
Yeah, it's our secret. So unless people are prepared to pay $50 American for it, which we do, and we give it to you free.
Oh, thank you.
It's really good for the healing process.
Thank you.
So you use that in the morning. The next day, the day after the procedure starts, the second day, not the day of the procedure. So first thing in the morning, Panthenol. And you leave it on for 10 minutes. You rinse it off with the saline. The saline is a sterile saline because it's injectable saline. You rinse it off properly. And then at nighttime, you just give it a nice spray and then leave it at that. On day 3, so 3 days post-procedure, then you still do the morning Panthenol, but you do the nighttime baby shampoo.
Yeah, gotcha.
In the bathroom basin. What you do is you fill in the bathroom basin with lukewarm water, 4 or 5 drops of baby shampoo, make some bubbles like you do in the bath. Yeah, and with the cup, you just grab it and you pour it over your graft for about 5 minutes.
About 5 minutes.
About 5 or 10 minutes.
Just to cleanse it and...
The soapy water cleanses it, and then after about 5 or 10 minutes, you empty the sink and put clean lukewarm water.
And redo.
And redo for the 5 or 10
Gotcha.
minutes. And you do that until day 10. And on day 10, you can either come and see us and we'll take all the scabs off for you, give you a nice wash.
Okay.
Or, we show you how to do it at home.
Yeah.
And
I remember from the first time around, they just actually started falling off.
Yes.
Day's over, procedure's done. I feel fantastic. I know the drugs are going to wear off sooner or later and I will have a little bit of pain, but obviously they've taken care of me with the medication. They've been very thorough in what I have to do for the aftercare, but I'm excited. I'm optimistic about where the results are heading. I know it's exactly where I wanted it with my hairline. Now it's just going to grow and I'm going to look the best I absolutely can be. Please stay tuned to my channel. Please stay tuned to Elite Hair Clinic. Give them a follow on Instagram, Facebook, do all those things. Get in touch with them if you're interested in this procedure, because I can assure you, ladies, gentlemen, this is going to improve your confidence and change your life. Vinnie Vane out.